Hey guys, welcome back to the CulePodcast. Welcome back to another episode. What?
No,
No, I just love the intro. I hadn't
I
done it with the
knew
intro yet.
Alex. He's been here. He's been here like in such a long time that I knew that the new intro was going to throw him off.
No, man, I like it. I like it. It's very professional.
No, it's fire. It's fire. But guys, welcome back to the CulePodcast. Welcome back to another episode. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic day. On today's episode, guys, we're going to be talking about this whole Vitor Roque situation. If you guys don't know, Vitor Roque, he was apparently going to be heading to Palmeiras for roughly 25 million euros, but La Liga, they have blocked it. They have blocked the move, and the negotiations, they have broken down a little bit. We're going to see if Vitor Roque is actually able to, be able to go to Brazil and join Palmeiras. We're going to be talking about that. And as well, Barcelona, we're going to be playing against Atlético Madrid in the Copa del Rey. We're going to be talking about that match, seeing how we fancy our chances, and etc. But guys, as always, this will be on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. So feel free to listen on those platforms if you do prefer. Alex, Alvaro, the two bozos of the stream. Welcome, guys. Welcome. How are you guys feeling
Okay.
on this beautiful Monday night?
Better now that I'm here with you, Elias, to be honest.
Fantastic. I love to hear that. How about you, Alvaro? Yeah, do you share the same sentiment as?
Very, very much so excited about tomorrow. So
Okay, absolutely. But guys, first topic of the day, we're gonna be talking about Roque. As I said, Vitor Roque, he was supposed to be heading to Palmeiras, 25 million euros, but La Liga, they have blocked that move. Now, FIFA, apparently, they see no problem with that. FIFA, they say, hey, no, Barcelona own Vitor Roque. Vitor Roque wants to hit the Palmeiras. Let's make it happen. No, I had no problems. La Liga, apparently, because Barcelona don't have enough financial fair play to re-register Roque, which makes absolutely no sense. Why would you have to register a player who would be leaving? He wouldn't even be staying at Barcelona. Why would that be the case? But La Liga have blocked that. Now, I'm going to ask Alex first, and then I'll ask Salvador. But do you think that Vitor Roque will be heading to Palmeiras, or do you think like, hey, this deal is just, it's not going to happen, or it is going to happen? Well, what do you think?
Well, I think the fact that it was even pushed this far shows a lot of initiative from Vitor Roque to actually want to go there in the first place. So I think it's a situation where he clearly wants to be there. We've seen recently we have some players going to the South American leagues. Most recently, Neymar going back to Santos. So I think we could be seeing a trend in some Brazilian players. They tend to be going now to Saudi. Maybe them going back to Brazil could be a more common thing. I do think he does want to move. Now, you're asking me, is it possible? I think so. It's just, as with everything, Barca's been through a big financial crisis in the last 5 years. And, as recently we had the issue with Dani Olmo's registration. So, I think it's going to be hard, but I think Vitor Roque, I mean, I don't know if it was him that pushed for it or if Betis just wasn't happy with him. I think he's a good player. He's been in the shadow of Lewandowski at Barcelona, and then I don't think Xavi trusted him as he should have. And I don't think he's had the best spell at Betis, but I will say, I think it's possible. I think it'll just be a little more complicated than we think.
No. Okay. I mean that's solid. And I like obviously when Roque he was like first signed, you were expecting him to be like this next star, this next Brazilian superstar from Brazil and everything. And obviously the move did not materialize in the way that we wanted. And I want to ask you, do you think that his transfer to Barcelona was a failure? Because I have mixed opinions in regards to that.
yeah, I mean, no, it was definitely a failure. Like you can even say a failure or success because he didn't have enough time. But it's just sad because I know there were reports that came out confirming that Xavi rushed the move. They were gonna make the move for the summer, and Xavi
Yeah.
wanted it in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that kind of like halted his growth as a player. Whatever the case is, it's just sad because again, one of the comments said, yeah, I mean, he's what 19, 20 right now. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's very sad to see a player that young come out of Brazil to Europe and then go back to Brazil. I'm hoping that maybe this next season in Brazil helps him regain some confidence and form, and then he goes back to Europe on some deal. Because it's sad, bro. I mean, yeah, we all thought when he came here that he was gonna be the replacement to Lewandowski,
Yeah.
and and you can see the raw the raw talent that he has. It's just it sucks.
Okay. Well, my thoughts on whether he was a failure or not is, as you said, he didn't really play that much. Obviously, the transfer itself, it was a failure because you signed a player for 30 mil plus 30 mil in add-ons that was to be, your next superstar striker, but he didn't even, be good enough to make the bench for Barcelona. And obviously, I would say it was an absolute failure. Only if Barcelona they were not going to be recuperating this money from this sale. We have to see if this actual sale does go through. But you recuperating most of the money that you did spend on him. We spend 30, but we get 25. You make a loss of like 5 million euros and the wages that you paid for him. But realistically, you recuperate most of the money that you did pay for him. And right now, I genuinely think that Vitor Roque, he should go back to Brazil, a place where he was comfortable. He saw his best level, and maybe then he can then return to Europe after like a couple of seasons and just develop as a player. Well, what do you think, Alex?
Well, I mean, look, I do think it's a trend that we're seeing now. Again, Brazilian players going back to Brazil and developing. It's a very talented league. A lot they give a lot of talent to Europe for sure. We see, like I said, we've been seeing this lately. We saw Memphis Depay going to Brazil. We've seen Neymar now recently. I don't think it's a bad option if a player wants to develop because he will be getting the playtime there. My only issue, and again, is what you were saying. If we can't get a sale, if we can get money back for him, I think it'll be a complete
Mm-hmm.
failure because I understand players not working out. I mean, ever since Neymar left Barcelona, we've had that. We've had failures like Coutinho, Pjanic. We had countless players that haven't really fit into the team. Even Griezmann didn't have the best time at
That is true.
Barcelona. So again, I understand it can happen, but if we're losing money on him and he hasn't played for us, I think that would be the real tragedy here. And again, I agree with you guys. Um, I think Xavi didn't manage him the best. I think he could have definitely given him more playtime, could have definitely given him more confidence as a young player, which is very important. And on top of that, I also think it's also an issue of him just not. Maybe his play style doesn't really fit Europe right now. I mean, he has a very strong work rate as a
Yeah.
striker. He's always pressing the ball. I just think the biggest issue with this game is, at Barcelona, he's not fitting in. I don't think he has the game awareness or the link up play that maybe Lewandowski does. Because as much as we want to criticize Lewa and his decline, he is still in the race for Pichichi, and we've seen
Yeah.
his build up play is amazing. His flicks with the headers, just holding up the ball in the midfield, he can be useful. I don't think we would get it with someone like him. So again, I feel sad for him. He is a good young player, but the best we can do with this is just get our
Mm-hmm.
money and carry on, and hopefully, let go of a few players in the summer like Ansu Fati and try to go for a big signing like Alexander Isaac or Gio.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And hey, not every signing is going to materialize or be successful. And at the end of the day, you just wish Vitor Roque success. And we have to see if he actually, heads out to Palmeiras, because we have to see how this whole situation unfolds. It's absolutely crazy that, La Liga, they're blocking his departure when he's, a Barcelona player.
Yeah.
Why would La Liga, not allow that to happen? It's just ridiculous. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But now moving on, guys, I'm gonna be talking about Barcelona's match tomorrow because we play Atletico Madrid in the Copa del Rey. And that is going to be a very difficult clash. Atletico Madrid, which they are on very half form. Players like Julian Alvarez, players like Rodrigo De Paul, World Cup winner, by the way, question mark, World Cup winner. And they also have Griezmann. They have players who are very on form, and they're going to be looking to make a statement. Now, Alvaro, what did you make of this clash? Like, do you say it's a tricky encounter for Barcelona, or do you view it with optimism?
No, I mean it's definitely a tricky encounter. We've seen how good they've been all season on the defensive side, and I mean that's one of those teams. You saw how frustrating it was for Madrid when they play against each other a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
They will play 10 men on defense the entire game and then try to get you on a counter attack. They're a very defensively sound team, and you just can't slip up. I do think the highline against them should work because again I don't see them being as aggressive as other teams that we have faced. but it's gonna be tough. I can't tell you that I'm as confident as if I was playing. I can't tell you that I'm as confident as playing the Sociedad this Sunday. I'll tell you that much. It's gonna. The good thing is it's a two-legged matchup. So if we have an underwhelming performance like a draw in the first leg, we still have the second leg. But yeah, it's not gonna be an easy match by any means.
No, absolutely not. And Van Lee, good question. Did Lamine Yamal's toenail rip off, or was it cut from the challenge? Well, he was stepped on. So as you can see in this image, Lamine Yamal, he posted on his social media a basically an image of his foot after that clash. And there was some doubt, there was some question marks on his availability for tomorrow. But Hansi Flick said that he is expected to play, and so I'm not too worried about him. But obviously, this hurts a lot. We all experience pain like that when we playing the sport. It happens, being stepped on. But at the highest level, when some of these boots have like metal spikes and anything, when these are grown men going super super intense, it can happen. But Alex, well, what do you think of tomorrow's clash against Atletico Madrid? How do you view that?
I mean, Alvaro summed it up pretty well. It's gonna be extremely defensive game. I don't think Barca can have the same approach they had the last time we played them, where we just missed a shit ton of chances, just have
Yeah.
possession all game. Possession's not gonna win you the game. It's nice that our midfield's been working the way it has, but I think tomorrow will be a very important game for a player like Dani Olmo, who we've seen is very good in operating in tight spaces and in creating chances. Very
Okay.
good build-up play. Especially if Lamine Yamal isn't able to play tomorrow, I wouldn't be worried only if we can put Rafinha on the right wing and Dani Olmo starts. I think that's a must with the
Ooh.
way he's been playing lately. And yeah, I'm not too worried. Alvaro said again, it's a legged match, so we could get him. I believe the game tomorrow is away, right?
No. Tomorrow we play the game at
Tomorrow
home,
at
and
home,
then the next
and
game
then
we'll play
okay.
away.
So I mean, I'm not too worried. I know they've been in good form, but as long as we finish the chances, you just gotta add pressure on them from early. If you can score a couple goals, they're gonna have to stop parking the bus basically, and they're actually gonna have to
Yeah.
start attacking, which we know that's not their strong suit. But if you're going in 60, 70 minutes, no goals or only one goal, then that's where they thrive. That's where we've seen players like
Yeah.
Julian Alvarez be good on the counter attack. We've seen
Yeah.
players like Sorloth coming off the bench and scoring. So
And
you just gotta be efficient. You can't be having what you had last game where Fermin Lopez was, not shooting, where Lewa was missing sitters. You can't have that.
And
Yeah.
look, to add on to that, I know we talked about it a little bit. I don't know if it's maybe a minor injury or maybe just a growing pains of becoming a top player in this league. But Lamine Yamal hasn't been he hasn't been in my eyes what Lamine Yamal has played like recently. And Barca has still survived throughout these games, but if with how defensive Atletico Madrid is, if Barca wants to make it a more comfortable game than the last, they will need Lamine Yamal to become a threat or as big of a threat as he usually is. I know that Daniel Mogo was a dime by him; it was beautiful, whatever. But I'm pretty sure that if I asked you guys when is this his best stretch of the season, you guys will say that it's not. So yeah,
Okay.
I think
and
I think he's just yeah. No, go ahead, go ahead.
no, yeah, go ahead.
I just think he's getting too cute on the ball. He wants to do all these tricks, and I think it's cool. Like it's nice to see players with flair, but at
But
what cost?
do you think, Alex, it's like a matter of, let's say, like maybe he's being overplayed, and maybe like that sharpness that he
I
had,
think I think
it's
it's
gone.
maybe it's that, but I think it's also overconfidence. Being
Overconfidence.
overconfident. I think it's not good for a young player to be getting this much recognition at this level. Like, yes, he's a phenomenal player, but you can't be comparing him with Messi at this stage. You can't be saying he's the best in the world. Like, even though he's a professional, he's still a kid, and that stuff still gets to his head. I mean, he's only 17, so um, you can't be having that. You gotta basically, just tell him, listen, where you win us the games, where you are good is yeah when you dribble the ball, but also when you cut back and cross, which is we
Okay.
see in Delhi when you give the trivela passes. So I need to see more of that. He did it the other day, the last match. He tried to give a trivela pass to Rafinha. Unfortunately, he couldn't get it. But then
Yeah.
he gave a couple good crosses to the box. That's the stuff we need from him because again, I don't mind if he's taking on the whole team and dribbling, but if he's getting something from it, that's really what I care about, you know.
No, absolutely.
And again, and real quick, we see that with Rafinha. Like, you just gotta be efficient, man. If you get the
Yeah.
chance, you just gotta execute it.
Yeah, well, one of the things we do have to keep in mind, guys, is Lamine Yamal. He is 17. Like the kid should be in school, like a junior in high school, and not playing top level professional football in it going to be a semifinal of the Copa del Rey. At the same time, we have to understand that Lamine Yamal is not going to be perfect whatsoever. And looking at this comment from Andy, he says, would be shocked if 2 goals are scored tomorrow. Atletico's schedule is grueling. They have to pace themselves. That's interesting because when we look at Atletico Madrid's schedule, guys, it is brutal. It is absolutely brutal. The amount of matches and the matches of the quality that they have to play
Barca Madrid,
is
Barca
crazy.
Madrid, back and
Yeah,
forth.
look at this. They play against Barcelona. Then they play against Athletic Club, Real Madrid, Getafe, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Espanyol. And then we go a little bit more. You see another match against Barcelona in April. These are some very, very difficult games for Atletico Madrid. And hopefully, Barcelona can take advantage of maybe some of the exhaustion that builds through this next upcoming month or so. And we can see, a better Barcelona in Wanda. But I ask you guys this: how would you guys line up for tomorrow's match against Atletico Madrid? Because there are, I would say, 3 question marks in regards to the lineup. There's one in regards to the center back, who is going to be partnering. I would say Inigo Cubarsí, because right here, FOMOP is saying that Araujo and Martinez are going to start. I think that Pau Cubarsí plays. I don't think that he's going to be dropped. In the midfield, do you play Frankie de Jong or Pau Cubarsí? I mean, or Marc Casado? And who do you play in the number 10? Do you play Fermin Lopez? Do you play Gavi? Or you play Dani Olmo? Now, Alvaro, what, how do you view the lineup going?
Starting from the back.
Yes, this is starting from the back.
Inigo Martinez has been class, so you had to start him. I think you start with Cubarsí.
Cubarsí.
I feel like that's a duo that has been working the most. I mean, it's kind of sad, but that duo with Eric Garcia coming as a late sub has been great for Barca. I want to see Araujo get more adjusted to the high line and to the play style and fully healthy. But in a game like tomorrow, I think that you play. I would rather play Cubarsí tomorrow and then maybe rest him on Sunday against that Sociedad and you play Araujo then. But that's what I will see. So I will see Conde, Cubarsí, Inigo Martinez, and Balde.
Okay.
In the middle, Pedri, Frankie has been great. Gavi hasn't been at his regular level that we know he can be. I would love to start Dani Olmo. I know they have been. I saw some reports saying that they're trying to find a good workload for his Dos Peña get started. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I will also see that he almost start, and then maybe you sit him after 60 minutes because they're saying that they're taking very good care of his past injuries. But ideally, Rafinha, Olmo, Yamal, and Lewandowski. That's what you have on the screen right now, except Cubarsí for Araujo.
Okay. Okay. See, one of the reasons why I'm thinking Hansi Flick may play Araujo is because he hasn't been involved in the past 3 or 4 matches. For a player like Araujo, do you think that he's going to be on the bench for that long? In the midfield, I know that Frankie de Jong has been, I would say, on better form than Marc Casado, but in these type of occasions, looking at how physical this midfield is going to go, is it the right move to include Frankie de Jong? I don't know. And we know that Fermin Lopez has shown up against Atletico Madrid. It has been something that we've seen in the past. When you just think about last year in the Wanda, where he scored that header. Those are the doubts, I would say, the 3 doubts on the lineup. But Alex, what do you think?
I'll say this: if Araujo doesn't start tomorrow, he'll start Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think there's something else you gotta address. Lewandowski said he's been tired, so I saw a report that Ferran Torres might start at striker.
Interesting.
I mean, listen, I don't mind. Ferran Torres isn't in the worst of form lately, and I wouldn't mind, giving Lewa a rest, maybe waiting to start him on the weekend. But if and before I get to the full lineup, I'll say if Lamine Yamal can play, for sure, Dani Olmo's got to start on the left wing, bring Rafinha to the right,
Okay.
and then throw in Fermin Lopez. Now, going through the whole lineup, obviously Chesney on goal. In the back line, I would take Cubarsí and Araujo just because I mean, I don't. I really like Inigo Martinez. He's been great all season, but I would like to see, because this is going to be a more physical game. A player like Araujo, who's very physical
Oh, okay.
and fast. So I would like to see him and Cubarsí. Then in the midfield, I would go for Pedri, obviously, and I would actually start Casado and bring in De Jong as a sub later on. And then assuming that Lamine Yamal can play, him, and I would put Daniel. I would start him. He's been too good for the team. And if you wanna bench him after, or do whatever you want to do it. But I think he should be starting tomorrow.
Okay. So Avila went for Araujo and Frankie de Jong to start, and Alex, you went for Marc Casado and Pau Guarci to start.
No,
And
Alongside Araujo.
yeah,
no, I said Cubarsí and Íñigo starting at the back and Frankie in the middle. Alex said Araujo and Cubarsí at the back
okay.
and Casado in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go looking at how the game I think is gonna be played. Atletico Madrid, they're gonna be parking the bus. They're gonna be doing the same thing that they did, in the previous visit, and just park the bus. I think you're gonna need a player like Marcasol to break the play, because it's one thing defending against Getafe and defending against Rayo, then defending against Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid, with the quality of the regular ball, with Barrios, with Griezmann, with Alvarez, these front four, you just know that these guys are going to be so quick to counter, and also using the pace of Lino and Simeone on the counter, that I think you do need a Marcasol to break this. I would say that this quartet up, and Pau Garcia and Nigo that has been our best partnership, center back partnership throughout the season. Why change that? And what is going to be one of your biggest games of the season? I basically stick with what has been working. You play Lamine Yamal, you play Dani Olmo, you go as strong as you possibly can. And one big doubt is on whether Robert Lewandowski is going to be starting, because that is where I'm inclined to say, hey, you know what? Let's give it to Ferran, who has been on form, and rest Robert Lewandowski. And even then, maybe it's something tactical. Have some mobility in
Yeah.
that front line, and have the center backs be worried about those runs in behind. Because Robert Lewandowski, he's gonna drop in deep at sometimes.
Well, most of the time he doesn't make those runs anymore. So
No.
I do think Ferran Torres is a player that does press the ball, and he has decent pace. So, and it's why we're saying, man, he's been in good form. Whenever he comes out the bench, he's been scoring, and you gotta respect that as a coach, I think.
Absolutely. But guys, score predictions. How do you guys see the game going tomorrow? Avilo, you want to go first?
Yo, Barca has been gross defensively. So I'm gonna say 1-0. I feel like that's like the popular answer. But I'm
Okay.
inclined to say 2-0. But I'm gonna say
2-0.
1-0. I'm gonna say 1-0.
1-0. Alex?
I'm gonna say 3-1 us.
3-1. Okay. I'm gonna go with the 2-0. I'm gonna go with the 2-0. I think Barcelona are gonna keep that clean sheet. And we're also going to be very good defensively, and we're going to be scoring those 2 goals. I genuinely see that. Ace, he says maybe Gavi in the midfield, since it's going to be a tough match. That could be also an option. I
Maybe
definitely
off
see
the
Gavi
bench.
involved.
My worry is that no, I could say him as a sub, but my worry is that him with a tough match, he gets even more physical. And bro, yeah, he has been a yellow card merchant, bro.
I mean,
So
that's how Gavi plays.
It's expected.
But guys, last topic of the day. There's been reports saying that Ter Stegen, he is set to be returning in April. Now, if he is going to be returning in April, that means that hopefully Barcelona, they are in the major competitions. But what do you do when Ter Stegen does return? Do you drop Chesney for Ter Stegen?
not in the UCL. I'll tell you that much.
Not in the UCL.
I think when a player comes from injury, you gotta ease him back into it. I think from the type of injury Ter Stegen's returning from, I don't see him playing until next season. I'm sorry,
Dude,
and if Chesney's playing good, you gotta keep him.
I guess he's the captain. Like I understand the seniority that it's a Barca, but let's say that let's say mid-April, what stage of the UCL will we be in? We'll probably be like what, like
Whole
semis?
like semis, yeah, like
Do
semi slash
you
final.
do you let's say we're playing Bayern, because our bracket will line up with Bayern. Let's say we're playing Bayern in the semis. Do you really bring in Ter Stegen, who hasn't been playing for or like 6 months? Do you really bring him in against Bayern? of all teams.
I wouldn't bring it.
So
No.
I mean, I would, let's say we're playing like I don't think, do we play Valencia again in the Liga? Let's say we're playing like a bottom table team. Then yes, I will bring him in. Maybe people will say that it's not fair because he's the captain, whatever. You can't risk someone being rusty in the UCL.
Yeah.
No.
I'll rather play a crappy team in La Liga and have him play you that game. You can't do it. You can't do it.
Yeah, this is going to be the fixture list in April. And honestly, when I look at this fixture list, guys, even then, I'm not bringing on Ter Stegen. I've been very critical of Ter Stegen. Szczesny, even though he's looked shaky at times, he's been improving game by game. And, we've been undefeated since Szczesny has been in goal. And with Ter Stegen, I'm sorry, that Ter Stegen, especially after this ACL injury, it's going to be a very different Ter Stegen. And when you look at the form that Szczesny is in, I'm not switching him, even though, Ter Stegen is the captain. And what games can you possibly bring him in this situation? Maybe a Villarreal, maybe a Real Valladolid, but other than that, every single game is going to be difficult. Simple as that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To be fair, we were smoking Atletico without Lamine in December. True, absolutely true. That's why I'm not necessarily worried about the matchup against Atletico Madrid. I would say it's the most tricky of the opponents left. Real Sociedad, Real Madrid, but I'm confident. If Barcelona, they are able to finish their chances, I see Barcelona winning tomorrow in a comfortable fashion. And guys, I will be having a watch along, a match reaction after, so make sure to tune in. But guys, that was it for the episode. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. This will be on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And tomorrow, hopefully we come away with a very, very good result. But as always, guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. See you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys.
Donde vuela no quiero nada de